What is up, everyone? Welcome. Happy Friday stream. Shout out to my boy Vince and Tay and all the RB crew. We're live here from the Pitbox studio. Today's gonna be a short stream, but I think there's some things worth pointing out, and that's what I wanted to go live anyway. And it's because the 3-day candle will be closing in an hour and 3 more minutes. And for now, it's going for a bullish engulfing candle, chat. So price has been fighting with this level. Actually, if we manage to close above 60,652 bucks, then you'll get a bullish engulfing candle, which is a single candlestick pattern. On this case is bullish, and even more so after this massive wick here to the downside. So I think it's good to keep an eye on the 3-day, especially because you had, look at this, chat. We had this bearish, with this hitting bearish divergence confirmed on the last 3-day candle. And now if you're able to engulf, you'll print a weaker negative momentum on the MACD histogram, which might imply that this hitting bearish divergence might not play after all, which is a very good sign for a 3-day. Do you see that, chat? Actually, the candle is it's flashing between strong and weak negative momentum. It's changing now. It changed to strong negative momentum as we're talking about. So I guess we'll know in about an hour if it actually managed to print that weaker negative momentum candle that we're looking for on the MACD histogram, which will be a really good sign that maybe this hidden bearish divergence won't perform that well. And I do want to show you guys, this is kind of one of my own things. This is my own indicator that I built last year. So don't take this too seriously, but this is a Bollinger Band setup, and you have a buy signal here on my indicator, which basically means that you came and tried to break down from the lower bands twice, and you had a 3-day candle close below the bands, and then you failed to have another 3-day close below the bands within a short period of time. So you can see here. So this bounce here with this bullish signal gets me somewhat excited. And if we're talking about technicals, then the target for such setup would be at least the higher band here on the 3 days. So at around 70k would be, if you were trying to play just this setup, then 70k would be your take profit. And I'll show you here. I think it was on the monthly. You got the same signal here on BTC on the last bull market. So you had an impulse here. This is what the indicator is about. You have an impulse outside of the bands. You have a daily candle close outside of the bands. Then you come back inside. You get price action out of the bands again, but you fail to get another daily candle close above the bands, and you reverse with a red candle in this case, and that's when the indicator flashes and you basically go short here. So that's what's going on the 3-day, but to the opposite side, right? If we put on the 3-day here, you'll see you had price action below the bands with an actual 3-day candle close outside of the bands. Then price went back inside of the bands, came back down, tried to have another 3-day close below it, but couldn't, reverse, and now it's printing that green candle, which will be flashing the signal. Although I do have to be clear that usually this setup or this indicator works best on a trend reversal. Like if this happened here, for example, after a massive trend, then you have a better chance of having a good performance. And it's not thought for just a range environment like the one that's going on right now. But I think it looks good, and I'll take it for now, because you're fighting with the bullish engulfing candle, which will be closing in 58 more minutes, chat. You're losing that negative momentum as for now, so you will be invalidating or basically underperforming that hidden bearish divergence on the MACD histogram on a really significant time frame, which is the 3-day. All right. So that's what I wanted to show you guys on the 3-day. We'll check out also Ethereum in a few more minutes. And I want to turn on here BTC dominance has been completely mooning for the past few 3-day candles, going for the highest 3-day close since April 1st of 2021, chat. So yeah, breaking this inflection point with this 3-day close today. I wished we would have reversed at around here, because this is a strong inflection point. As you can see here in the past, it's been regarded both as resistance and as support, and now you're actually flipping that level on the 3-day. And if you had reverted here, would have been a nice setup of a confirmation top regarding the top from mid-April, and that's not going on right now. Actually, on the 3-day, you're at the 68 point level on the RSI, so you're deep within the bullish control zone and not quite overbought as of yet. You have this inverse head and shoulders that we talked about on the MACD histogram. We actually started talking about this setup here, and I said that you should be careful about riding alts from that moment going forward, that you might want to pick out altcoins that might outperform BTC, because this was I was scared of happening, that actually this inverse head and shoulders would play out like it's doing right now, and now we have no edge. We're just impulsing in the middle of an uptrend after 3 months plus of consolidation or accumulation, if you could say so, and now we have no clue when this bullish momentum here is gonna start to weaken. Okay, so it looks like a short squeeze, but clearly it's not, because there is not people trading Bitcoin dominance. It's just Bitcoin sucking liquidity out of the altcoin market, and I expect this to continue for the time being, because you had this bullish engulfing on August 1st and then catching matte follow through after this reversal pattern. But if I turn on the Bollinger Bands here on the 3-day, you can appreciate here the squeeze of the volatility here after those 3 months of consolidation. You had about diminishing volatility, and then you had the breakout, which is going on as we're talking, and you'll get a 3-day close outside of the bands, which is super strong. If for example, if you go to the daily, you can see here how the bands have been working as resistance, and somewhat the price has been riding the bands to the upside. And on the 3-day, you have that breakout, which is different than the daily time frame here. So maybe, hopefully, you get somewhat of a reversal soon on price on the daily not being able to break out of the upper band, because it's been testing it, and you haven't had that breakout yet. But there's nothing much that I can say tell you about Bitcoin dominance right now, because we're in the middle of an impulse, and I don't have any clue or divergence as for now. But on the daily time frame, you're deeply overbought. Right now you're in the 74 point level, so highest reading on the RSI on a daily time frame for Bitcoin dominance since April 13, which was that war event on Israel and Iran that had a massive capitulation on altcoins going into BTC. I mean, some altcoins nuked double digits back to back from Friday to Sunday. I'm sure most of you guys remember it. So you're reaching somewhat such levels of exuberance on Bitcoin dominance on a daily time frame. So hopefully you get a pullback out of the overbought zone, but man, this is a straight up mooning as we speak, and I don't have much to give you, chat. Otherwise, that we'll need to wait for a structure to develop, and then maybe start to look for a divergence with I don't know, maybe coming up to a critical inflection point above here. But sadly, the next logical target for maybe a reversal will be 60%, or maybe you could argue here there's something, yeah, it's 60% basically, 60 and 61.5. Actually, it's right here. You'll see this inflection point right there. So there isn't much price action until you go into 60%, which you are right now 4% away. So yeah, Chad, Bitcoin dominance is just impulsing, and maybe that's what you want to see. That's like people say, nature's it's healing right now, because usually you get a Bitcoin dominance rally when BTC goes parabolic into price discovery. That has not happened yet, but I'm not expecting a high time frame reversal for Bitcoin dominance until Bitcoin is trading well above 75 to 80K, and when Bitcoin is basically just put on a lot of gains. It's back on the news. Normies are starting to come back down into the market. Then I would think maybe of a reversal into an altcoin season and altcoins outperforming BTC, because this is relentless buying on Bitcoin dominance. The 3-day is going for the highest positive momentum reading since November 3rd of 2023 of last year, since this big move here into fresh highs. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to be patient on this one, Chad. But at least Bitcoin's not nuking. It's fighting right now with this bullish engulfing, and hopefully we'll be able to close the 3-day just above here. The exact level you need to close above, chat, is 60K, $680. It's where you need to engulf the previous 3-day close, and I'm guessing that's where this this negative momentum turns into a light red bar and not a strong red bar as it is right now. Okay, so bear with me on that one. I mean, bull with me on that one. All right, but believe, chat. Believe on the setup. Believe on the on the buying signal here, on the Bollinger Bands. All right. I think I'll be going live on Sunday too, to see the weekly candle close, because it's gonna be interesting. Okay, going into Ethereum. Ethereum is having somewhat of a nothing burger 3-day close, on not even fighting with the bullish engulfing like the one that you have here on BTC. BTC's should be closing like above here. Ethereum's down below. So underperforming Bitcoin on the 3-day. You had a bounce out of the 200 moving average, the 3-day 200 moving average here. You can appreciate here Bitcoin's well above it on the 3-day time frame. BTC, Ethereum, it's at around like down here. So pretty pathetic performance in that regard. And ETH, it's building higher negative momentum on the MACD histogram, going for the highest negative Momo since April 18 of this year. And the RSI, it's at the 35-point level. So look at the difference, chat. Bitcoin is at the 46, which is pretty neutral, and Ethereum is at the 35, which is on the bearish control zone, where sellers take control of the asset, and more likely than not, if you get an impulse or a rally, you have higher chances of sellers coming in and selling the asset further down. That's what basically means on this oscillator. Until you get a divergence and you get somewhat of an edge, you know that there might be some sellers exhaustion, but that's not showing right now on Ethereum. You actually have bearish convergence, because you have a lower low on price and a lower low both on the histogram and the RSI. So pretty lame. Okay. Let's go to USDT dominance. So USDT dominance, it's not having a bearish engulfing candle or anything like that, but it's back inside of this ascending range, which is I'll take this. This is somewhat good. you're printing strong positive momentum on the MACD histogram though, and you do have that hitting bullish divergence here still valid. So maybe this implies further upside for USDT dominance, sadly. At least that's what the oscillator is implying. But the RSI actually rejected the 66 point level, and it's sitting at the 59 point level on the 3 days, so just below the bullish control zone. Maybe you'll get a further drop into the low 50s on the RSI on the next 3-day close, which will close on Monday. So we will be keeping an eye on that too. Yeah, there's not much to talk about on the 3-day. You did leave a huge wick to the upside. You touched the 200 moving average here, something that didn't happen since October 22nd of last year, that you have not touched the 200 moving average. And for the time being, it worked as resistance and as absorption of the buying. Actually, USDT dominance sold off when you came up here on the 200 moving average. And if you go to the daily, you can see here on this daily 200 moving average, price had somewhat of a hard time coming into the daily 200, and then when you go back above it, you had a bullish test to the daily 200 and then a massive impulse. So you do wanna stay below the daily 200, I mean the 3-day 200 moving average, in my opinion, because if you reclaim it and flip it, then I think you're in a bad spot for your coins. Yeah, I'm a dox everyone on the RB Discord, so watch out. You better tune in every day, like the stream right now, turn on notifications, subscribe, everything. Leave me a thumbs up, boys. I really appreciate it. I wish I didn't have to be asking for likes, but the tech overlords mandate that if I don't get likes on my streams, they won't push my content. So I'm gonna have to ask you guys to please like the stream. So that was USDT dominance. Let's take a look at ETH BTC on the 3-day. Yikes. So ETH BTC on the 3-day is just almost bearish, engulfing the previous 3-day close, but not quite. Just printing, it's printing weaker and weaker negative momentum though, I'll give you that. But you do have bearish confluence here. You have a lower low in price and a lower low on the histogram. So I don't have any kind of edge on the oscillators. And yeah, you're deeply oversold here on the RSI. You're at the 25 point level on ETH BTC on a daily. But if we go take a look at the 3-day, my god, chat, look at this. ETH BTC going for the lowest 3-day close since April 16, 2021. This is bad, chat. Printing stronger and stronger negative momentum on the MACD histogram. Actually, the highest negative momentum on ETH BTC on the 3-day since October 10 of 2022, chat. My god, what are we even talking about? The negative Momo on this pair, it's insane. It's insane. You also have a nice, this is for educational purposes here, chat. You have a nice inverse head and shoulders on the MACD histogram, just like the one that we had on Bitcoin dominance, right? And look how it played out. Like this is what you'll probably get on Bitcoin dominance, and then you'll get the reversal to negative momentum. But man, highest negative Momo on ETH BTC 3-day since October 10 of 2022, chat. So this is pretty weak right now. You need like somewhat of a miracle. and you're actually closing outside of the bands again. So back-to-back 3-day closes outside of the Bollinger Bands here. You're in the middle of an expansion. So hopefully we'll see some green on the next 3-day close on Monday. Yikes. Let's take a look at Solana on the daily, because why not? I mean on the 3-day. So 3-day, it's catching follow through out of this massive bullish pin bar. So that's quite decent. Going for the highest 3-day close since July 29 of this year. You're in the middle of the Bollinger Bands. This is quite different from what BTC is doing and Ethereum. You're actually getting above the EMA of the Bollinger Bands. So I don't know, if you were below it and fighting against it, wouldn't be a great signal because you're leaving somewhat of an upwick here. But it looks pretty decent, chat. Like, yeah, just catching follow through out of this bullish pin bar. And if we go to the oscillators, oh man, you're printing the first negative momentum bar on the 3-day since July 14. So that's not really that good. But you don't have any kind of divergence here between these two highs because you have a higher high and you have a higher high both on price and on the momentum. And the RSI is at the 50-point level for now, so that's pretty neutral. Yeah, there isn't much of an edge that I could give you guys on Solana 3-day. All I can tell you is that Bollinger Bands here are pretty flat. It's starting to diminish volatility. And anytime soon, within the very next few weeks, I think you'll get a tighter squeeze and maybe a breakout. I don't know to which side. Well, I guess we'll have to see how price develops. But you can start to see that the Bollinger Bands have been somewhat flat for the past months. And when you get that kind of flatness, like here, and like here, you get somewhat of a strong move, like the one you had here to the downside, or here to the upside. So that's what's going on the 3-day on the Bollinger Bands. On one point, that thing is gonna have a strong move to either the upside or the downside. And I want to check out Sol BTC here on the 3-day. Okay, so this is not the best 3-day close on Sol BTC because you have somewhat of a bearish inverted hammer here. It's not the worst, but you're losing positive momentum here on the MACD histogram. You have bullish convergence though. You don't have any kind of divergence, and you're sitting at the 54-point level on the RSI, so that's neutral. Yeah, RSI, I mean Bollinger Bands looked compressed. They're starting somewhat to expand, but I think it had somewhat of a failed breakout here because look how the Bollinger Bands basically avoided Sol BTC to have a proper breakout. Couldn't have consecutive daily 3-day closes above it. Instead, it just left wicks to the upside, sold off, catch the bounce, and then you're above here, the mid-range with this inverted hammer about to be print on the chart in 40 more minutes. So not the best in my opinion. We're also gonna be talking about Sol ETH. This is one of my favorite charts for the past few months because it's been kind of a riddle to try to look at, but pretty decent on the 3-day, going for the highest 3-day close ever, chat. Catching follow through out of this bullish engulfing here, so that's nice. Getting another 3-day close above this resistance from the previous cycle and from this cycle around 2. You're printing strong positive momentum once again on the MACD histogram on the 3-day here, and you're at the 66-point level on the RSI, which is the bullish control zone. But I do have to show you guys this. This is on the daily. You're starting to, at least on the RSI, build a bearish divergence here because you have a lower high on the oscillator and a higher high in price. It hasn't developed as of now, or it hasn't matured on the MACD histogram because this positive momentum could continue to strengthen and just take out this high here. So you can see here is fighting between being a strong positive momentum bar or a weak positive momentum bar. It just flipped green a few seconds ago. My bad, chat. It's just I don't know. Sometimes when you have this kind of an uptrend, you need triple divergence maybe before rolling over. You know, maybe you come back down and then create another lower high, and that's when you roll over when you're a strong uptrend. But I do have to show you this on the daily time frame on SolETH because it's there. It's gonna get confirmed in 38 more minutes. All right, chat. Okay, today's gonna be somewhat of a short stream today because I had things to do. It's a Friday, so I'm going out right now. I hope this closes above here, about 60K and 800 bucks, and we get that bullish engulfing on the 3-day, and we get that weaker negative momentum on the MACD histogram. We're going to be checking it out on Sunday night at 7 p.m. EST. I'll be checking out the weekly candle close to see how the market's reacting. I hope every one of you guys have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to leave a like, thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notification, everything. Hit on that bell button, and I'll see you guys in the next